30 minutes. That's all Richard Harris had to save his children. His wealth, his influence, none of it mattered. But Tara, the maid, stepped forward with a secret. One that would change everything. The clock's relentless ticking echoed throughout the mansion, each second louder than the last. Richard Harris stood by the window, staring out into the distance, his empire suddenly feeling like nothing but empty wealth. His twin children, Emily and Jacob, lay motionless in their beds, their once vibrant faces now pale and lifeless. The doctors had made it clear, 30 minutes, Mr. Harris. That's all they have. The heart monitor beeped weakly, barely registering. Desperation clawed at Richard's chest. No amount of money, no endless supply of doctors, could change the grim reality unfolding before him. His wealth, his power, all meaningless. If you believe in kindness, please like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments where in the world you are watching from. Downstairs, the staff moved in hushed whispers, some quietly weeping. But among them, Tara, the maid, refused to succumb to hopelessness. She had seen the children grow up, watched them laugh, run, and play. She loved them like her own. This was her family, and she wasn't going to let them slip away. Her hand, steady and resolute, reached into her apron pocket where the secret vial lay hidden. With only seconds to lose, Tara knew this was her moment, her last chance. A secret remedy passed down through her grandmother's line. A simple, ancient serum that could change everything. But would it? No one could know. No one could expect it. But as Richard sat broken in the corner, unaware of what Tara was about to do, the miracle of a lifetime was about to unfold. Tara remembered her grandmother Esther's words, the old healer from rural Kentucky who'd passed down secrets through generations. There was one remedy, forbidden and dangerous, made from mountain herbs that bloomed only under moonlight. It could save the twins. But the cost was unthinkable. Tara's hands trembled as she pulled the worn leather journal from beneath the floorboards. Inside lay the recipe her grandmother made her swear never to use, because whoever administered it would sacrifice their own life force. She looked at her sleeping babies, then made her choice. If you've ever loved someone enough to give everything, stay with us. This story needs witnesses. That night, while Richard dozed in the waiting room chair, Tara slipped into the twins' hospital room alone. Her fingers were ice cold as she uncapped the vial, thick, dark liquid that smelled of earth and something ancient. The night nurse had stepped out for rounds. She had minutes. "Forgive me," she whispered, placing drops on each twin's lips as they lay unconscious. Almost immediately, she felt it, a draining, like water flowing from her soul. By dawn, the monitors began to beep differently. Emma's eyelids fluttered. Lily's fingers twitched against the sheets. Dr. Patterson burst in, stunned. This is impossible." Richard wept with joy. But Tara could barely stand. Her skin had gone pale as moonlight. Richard stood at the window, watching his twins laugh for the first time in weeks. Emma was sitting up, color returning to her cheeks. Lily was asking for pancakes. The doctors had no explanation. Spontaneous recovery, they called it, scribbling notes with confused expressions. But Richard saw something else. He saw Tara in the corner, barely able to lift her head. He saw the dark circles under her eyes, the way she gripped the chair like it was the only thing keeping her upright. "What did you do?" he whispered. Tara's smile was weak. What any mother would. And in that moment, Richard understood. All his money couldn't buy what love had given freely. By the third day, the entire hospital was buzzing. Emma and Lily were walking the halls, holding hands, asking to go home. Their vitals were perfect, better than perfect. It defied every medical textbook. Dr. Patterson called it unprecedented. Local news wanted interviews. The miracle twins of Springfield General, they were calling them. Richard couldn't stop staring at his twins whole and alive, when 72 hours ago they'd been dying. He fell to his knees beside Tara's chair. "Thank you," he choked out. "I don't know how, but thank you." Tara touched his face gently, her hand trembling. "Just love them, Richard. That's all that matters. If this story has touched something in you that words can't reach, don't let it fade. Subscribe. Be part of something that believes love still wins." A week later, Richard asked Tara to meet him in his study, the one room in their Oakwood estate she'd never entered. Mahogany shelves lined with law books. A desk that cost more than her yearly salary. He poured 2 glasses of water, his hands unsteady. "Tara, I've been blind," he began. "I thought money could solve everything. But you gave something I could never buy." He slid a document across the desk. "I want you to be more than their nanny. I want to make this official, your family now. Legal guardian if anything happens to me." Tara's eyes filled with tears. But her hands were shaking worse now. The price was coming due. The Harris mansion transformed overnight. Where silence once echoed through marble halls, laughter now bounced off the walls. Emma and Lily raced through the kitchen. Stealing cookies, Tara pretended not to notice. Richard came home early, something he'd never done before. Sunday dinners became sacred. No phones. No work calls. Just the 4 of them around the table, sharing stories. "Tell us about Grandma Esther again," Emma begged one evening. Tara smiled, though his voice grew softer each day. She believed love was the strongest medicine. Richard watched him carefully. The color still hadn't returned to his face. But for now, they were whole. A family reborn, not by blood or money, but by sacrifice no one yet understood. Richard stood in his office, staring at the bronze plaque on his wall, Lawyer of the Year, 2023. It felt meaningless now. He thought about the nights he'd missed, bedtime stories, school plays, first lost teeth. All sacrificed for settlements and billable hours. "Dad." Emma appeared in the doorway. "Will you help us build a fort?" The old Richard would have checked his watch, made an excuse. Instead, he closed his laptop. "Let's use every blanket in the house," he grinned. That evening, crawling through pillow tunnels with his twins, Richard finally understood what his ex-wife had tried to tell him years ago. You can't bill hours for memories. But some prices are worth paying. 3 months later, the Harris family gathered in the backyard for Emma and Lily's 9th birthday. Balloons swayed in the September breeze. Neighbors they'd never spoken to before brought casseroles and congratulations. The twins wore matching clothes, healthy and radiant. Richard watched Tara from across the lawn. She sat quietly in a chair, wrapped in blankets despite the warmth, but her smile was genuine as she watched the twins blow out their candles. He walked over, kneeling beside her. "We wouldn't be here without you," he whispered. Tara squeezed his hand weakly. "You would. Love finds a way. Some stories change us. They remind us what matters when everything else falls away. If this one changed you, don't walk away unchanged. Subscribe. Carry this forward. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Because sometimes one story can remind the world that good people still exists."